Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Trove, which brings a personal selection of coffee that suits your personal tastes right to your doorstep. So the way Trove works is you take the coffee quiz, you choose your delivery frequency, and then after you receive your coffee and taste it, you rate it. So Trove can tailor your preferences. And it's so great because I get to learn about new coffees, I get to taste them, and the coffees are roasted and shipped within 24 hours of my ordering. So they are shipped at peak freshness, so they taste absolutely wonderful when they arrive. And Trove uses compostable packaging for all of their orders. And Trove guarantees that you'll love your first order of coffee, and if you don't, they'll send you a different bag for free. So the first 100 people to sign up with my link down below and use my code emmymade50 will receive 50% off their first bag and free shipping. Big thanks to Trove for sponsoring this video and for their continued support. So today I'm going to be making dango. Dango is a lovely rice cake confection that you can find in Japan. You can eat it all year round, but the type that I'm going to be making today is called Hanami Dango, also known as sanchoku dango, which have 3 balls on a skewer, and they are colored pink, white, and green. They're specifically colored this way for Hanami, which is the cherry blossom or the sakura viewing season when people picnic underneath the beautiful cherry blossoms. It's a celebration of spring, and each color is symbolic. Pink represents the pink sakura or the cherry blossoms, the white represents the disappearing of the snow, and the green represents the green verdant summer to come. So this is not the first time I've made Hanami Dango. I'll put a link down below to my first version, which was about 7 years ago, and it's been getting a lot of attention because of a game called Monster Hunter Rise, in which you can eat bunny dango, which looks very similar to Hanami Dango. It has 3 balls of rice cake, and a lot of people want to know more about it. So today I'm going to be actually making a version from scratch. The version I made before was using a dango mix, which has the rice flours already mixed. I'm actually going to be doubling this recipe because I just learned about a giant Hanami Dango that they are selling in Aichi Prefecture at this moment, and each dango ball is enormous. And I just thought it would be funny to have the regular size versus the large size. So let's go ahead and make this. So dango is actually quite simple. It's just made out of rice flours, but you need specific types of rice flour. Now there's glutinous rice, also known as sweet rice, which is sticky, and then there's rice flour just made from typical rice. It's not sticky. So the flour that's made from regular rice is called joshinko, and I had a hard time finding it, so I'm going to be substituting this. This is a Thai version of rice flour. I'm going to be making a double batch today, but in a single batch you'll use 160 grams, which is 1.25 cups. So to this we're going to add shiratamako, which is the glutinous or the sweet rice. We're going to add 40 grams of that. Look at that, it has a kind of crumbly texture. And this will give it a chewy texture. 60 grams or 1/4 cup of sugar. Now you're going to add 200 milliliters of hot tap water. And add this a little at a time to form a dough. So I've seen some recipes where they say that you can substitute mochiko, but it will have a different texture. Oops. Never fails. Whenever I'm working with flour, I always choose a dark shirt. Why is that? So now I'm going to cover this with some plastic wrap, and I'm going to microwave this for 3 minutes. Since I have doubled this batch, it may take a little bit longer than 3 minutes, but let's find out. I stopped it a couple times during cooking. It was a total of about 6 or 7 minutes. I'm going to use the back of my rolling pin here, dipped in a bit of water, and this is really hot, so we can't stick our hands in it right away. And we're just going to mash this to incorporate everything and knead it together. If you don't have a microwave, you could also steam the dango. Because this is so hot, I'm going to put on a heat-proof glove and a nitrile glove. I'm going to dip my hand in water and go ahead and knead it that way. Okay, so I think this is cool enough where I can actually use my hands. And this, I think, worked out pretty well. So we're going to divide our dough into thirds. So for this piece, I'm going to dye it pink. I'm going to add about 2 drops of red food coloring. Not too much because we want this to look pink. So just a little tiny bit. So then if you're making regular dango, you would roll this out into a snake and roll each one into a ball. So we're going to repeat this process for the green. I'm going to use about 2 drops of green food coloring for the entire dango ball. Here are the dango. They are colored and shaped. This is the traditional size. They are about 1 inch in diameter or so. Look at the whoppers, aren't they amazing? So I've got some bamboo skewers here, and I'm going to dip my skewer in some water. Dango, of course, are sticky, and the water helps keep everything from sticking. So we'll skewer the green one on first. Next we do white, and kind of twist it through. And there we have it, the cutest little Hanami treat. Now for the giant ones. Wow, this is huge. It's about the size of a baseball. Okay. It's so huge. It's so heavy. So traditionally dango is served with green tea, but today I'm going to have coffee. So Trade sent me this, and this is La Colombe from Colombia. I love the smell of coffee. Cheers. Bright, slightly acidic, bitter, but doesn't finish bitter. Fruity. Here's our Hanami Dango, so stinking cute. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. As you can probably tell, it's very chewy and bouncy. The texture of this dango is a little bit different than the dango I made in my previous video. These are not as chewy. Those ones were a little bit more bouncier. And in terms of flavor, it's very plain and simple. It's just lightly sweetened with sugar. It's mostly, for me, about the texture and the kind of playful bounciness. I did adapt this recipe using Thai rice flour, and I think it does affect the texture. The flavor is almost identical. We didn't add any flavoring to this. Sometimes sakura extract is added to the pink, and sometimes the green is flavored and dyed with matcha or green tea powder, so it gives it a little bit of a bittery green tea flavor to it. The level of sweetness is quite nice, and I think it pairs pretty nicely with a lightly roasted coffee. And since I have it, I should give the giant one a taste too. So here we go. Itadakimasu. Same chewy, bouncy texture, and of course same flavor, just on a much larger scale. I definitely prefer the traditional single-size portion. Alrighty, my lovelies, that's how you make homemade Hanami Dango at home. I definitely recommend sourcing joshinko if you can find it. You can substitute rice flour, but the texture will be a little bit different. So thanks so much for joining me, and big thanks to Trade for sponsoring this video. For the first 100 people to sign up with my link down below and use my code emmymade50, you will receive 50% off your first bag and free shipping. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like this video. Check out my website, which I'll include this recipe. And yeah, like and subscribe. And I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. Dango, dango.